Hello, good morning for you all. This is Mr. Ibrahim Roma, science teacher. Today we are going to talk about the matter and its characteristics. As we talked before, last class we talked about the mass and the volume, and we talked about the units of mass and the units of volume, and we talked about how to transfer from one unit of the mass to another. Like for example, how can you transfer from gram to kilogram and the opposite. Let's discuss our class today. Our class would be short, very short, because it's an introduction for our new curriculum. Um, If you are sitting now in your room, you might see many things around you. These things are called matter. So everything around us is called matter. Even our bodies is considered as matter. Even the planet that we are living on is considered as matter too. So is that the definition of matter? No. If you standing on a scale and you can determine your mass and you are standing in the room, so you have takes a space in that room. So you have mass and you takes a space. That means that you have mass and you have volume. So you are considered as matter. So the second definition of matter is called there's anything that has mass and volume. And we can replace the volume by the definition of volume is anything that has mass and occupies a space. Okay. The definition of mass is the amount of matter that the body contains. Imagine that you have a bottle of water. What is the amount of matter in that bottle of water? It's the water that the bottle contains. Okay, so the amount of water it is the amount of matter, and the bottle it is the body. So it's the amount of matter, it's the amount of water in that bottle. That means its mass, the mass of that bottle, and it is measured by two units: gram for small units and kilogram for large units. Okay. The second concept is called volume, and it is the space that is occupied by the object. So the volume, it is the space that the body takes in the room, that the body occupies in the room. So it's called volume, and it's measured by three units: cubic centimeter and centimeter power 2 or liter. Like as you see here in this shapes. For example, this box takes small space in the room than this bar. So this box has a small volume than that bar, and so on. Let's solve these questions. If you have a question like this, what is meant by? You can solve it by writing the definition of the concept in the question. For example, he told you the mass of of a piece of iron is 10 kilograms. So you need to write the definition of mass. It is the amount of matter. What is the matter in the piece of iron? The matter is iron. Okay, so it's the amount of iron in that the body contains. What is the body here? It's the body here is considered as the piece. So what the mass? It is the amount, the mass of a piece of iron. It is the amount of iron and that the piece contains equals to 10 kilograms. The second question: what is meant by the volume of a piece of iron is 1 cubic centimeter? We are going to write the definition of volume. Okay, so the volume, it is the space occupied by an object. So what is the object here? It's the piece of iron. So the space that is occupied by a piece of iron is equal 1 cubic centimeter. Every every matter have physical properties and its chemical properties. Okay, that differs it from each other. Like for example, we have seven properties. We have seven properties in the matter. We have color, taste. We have the color. We have the taste, and we have smell. The second property is density, and then boiling point, melting point, hardness, electric conduction and thermal conduction. So if you have two matters, you can differentiate between them based on these properties. Okay. So for example, let's talk about the color and taste and smell. We can differentiate between many types of substances or materials based on their color, like iron, silver, and gold. Okay, and we can differentiate between substances such as sugar and salt by tasting them with our tongue. Okay, and then the smell. You can if you can't differentiate between the color and the taste, you can differentiate by the smell. Like we can differentiate by the oil, vinegar, and perfume. And there are substances that we can differentiate according to the taste and the color and the smell. So they are tasteless and colorless and odorless, such as water and oxygen. So how can we differentiate between their properties? We can use other property. We can use, like for example, we can use the density. All right. When you are in the laboratory, there are dangerous materials and poisonous materials, so don't try to use any of them before the teacher tells you to use it, and to ask him about the consist and the type of this material before you harm yourself. And this was for today. I hope that you enjoyed it and see you next time. Okay, goodbye.